This is Quentin Parnell here at Meadow Springs, coming to you for our tip of the week. The request this week was to talk about how to hit shots out of the rough. Here at Meadow we have really thick rough. With it being the winter, it's a little bit more cut down, a little bit more manageable. Today it's raining, so this plays a little bit more like the wet rough, sticky rough that we have. So over here on our chipping green, I found some areas here that's got some thicker rough, and we're just going to talk about how to approach this. Step one, when you step into seeing your shot, is we got to evaluate the lie, right? Are we sitting up or are we sitting down? And that's how we're going to approach it. Our very first one here, we're going to talk about when the ball sits down in the rough. And what we're going to focus on is how we're going to use this wedge. We've got the bounce here. This is designed to glide, kind of lay the grass down, versus the leading edge is designed to cut. So when the ball is sitting down, what we're trying to do is cut through the grass. We got to get down to the bottom. So I would take a pretty typical stance, right? Probably be a little bit more on the narrow side, so about shoulder width or maybe just inside of that. I like to keep the ball position back, and I really like to try to keep the club a little bit more vertical. And what we're going to work on here is we want to feel a movement that's going to feel up, and then I'm really going to drive down. And the key here is if I keep the handle forward, then the leading edge will be leading into the shot, versus if the handle is back, then we're going to have more of that bounce leading into the shot. So from a little bit towards the back of my stance, leading edge forward, handle a little bit forward, and we're going to hit down. And that's going to help us go through. One of the big things I see is a lot of people trying to help it up. What we really want to do here is drive down and keep speed. Speed is going to be your friend. And take some practice. It's going to take a minute to understand how that comes out, but find some of the spots out here with some thicker rough and practice and kind of see how the ball comes out. Generally speaking, it's not going to have much spin, so you want to make sure that you're playing for that ball to roll out. Now, a ball that sits up a little bit higher, we're going to approach a little bit differently. We want to use the bounce here because we want to lay the grass down. We don't want to dig, right? If we dig, we have a tendency to have it pop up, maybe go underneath it a little bit too much or chunk it. So from here, what we'll do is we're going to go a little bit more opposite. We're going to go a little wider stance, ball a little bit more towards the front. The face can be a little bit open if you want, but here you can see I'm just trying to keep the shaft of the club just perfectly vertical. I don't want it forward. I don't really want it back. And we're going to keep the same thing. Speed, again, is going to be your friend because this rough is still wet and thick, but we got to keep speed. We want to go through it. We should see a shot that comes out pretty high. Still not going to have a lot of spin, but we should have the trajectory. So I would expect it to land a little bit softer and then roll out just a tiny bit here. The key to any of this is practice. Practice, practice, practice is always the most important. So find some of these spots. This front left area just to the left of our bunker here in our chipping green is a great area to come out and practice. But come and play with a couple practice swings where you're working on different ball positions, and then just a little bit of focus on whether we want the shaft forward to dig or the shaft straight up and down so that we don't dig and we glide a little bit more. Thanks. This is your tip of the week, and we'll see you next week.